Modern smartphones, such as this iPhone that I have here, have become a more than capable filmmaking device. And as more and more people look to get started into mobile filmmaking, a question we get asked very often is, well, what do I need to get started? Well, the first thing I should say is don't get all the gear just yet. I know it's very tempting, but don't do it. If you're just getting started, I think the first thing you should do is just get used to filming with just the phone by itself. Film with the default camera app, play with all the settings, then start playing with things like different apps. But then let's say you've done that already. Well, what's next? And for that, I'd say still don't get all the gear just yet. But if you do insist on getting a piece of gear, I would recommend this as your first accessory. So what is this? This is the Moment Mobile Filmmaker Cage with MagSafe. And basically it's this cage thing with a whole bunch of threads and cold shoes on it for all your future gear. More on that later on. And there's a MagSafe compatible mount here, so you can mount things like an iPhone 12 or 13 without a case. Or Moment also makes MagSafe compatible cases for the iPhone 12, 13, and Google Pixel 6 series of phones. Moment also sells a stick-on MagSafe adapter for all other devices as well. And to use it, all you do is you take your MagSafe-enabled smartphone, line up the magnets, and there you go. So what makes this a great first accessory for a new mobile filmmaker? I think there's three main reasons why this is a great accessory. Those reasons are stability, expandability, and convenience. So the first reason is stability. I think you'll discover as you start filming on your phone that you sometimes will get some pretty shaky footage if you're using the phone handheld. And while modern phones have great video stabilizers built in, something like this cage really complements that stability. And as you can see when I pick up the phone here, the Filmmaker Cage gives you a really stable and solid grip. So for example, if you're doing things like vlogging, for example, or if you're doing a lot of handheld footage that requires things like pans, then this is really great just as is. And this cage works in both landscape and portrait modes, which is great for social media content creation. And thanks to all these threads around the cage, it's really easy to mount this to a tripod. So the second reason I think this is a great first accessory is expandability. Now remember at the beginning of the video when I talked about all the gear? Well, all around this Filmmaker Cage is a whole bunch of threads and cold shoe mounts for adding things to your setup. And the great thing about it is you can build upon your kit as you get more things. So for example, on this cage there are 2 cold shoes, and this is perfect for adding things like lights or an external microphone. And if you're using an external microphone, there's even a little cable wrap here for keeping excess cord tucked away. And as for all these threads around the cage, this is for adding things like tripods and handles, so you can adapt this cage to different filming styles. So in this example video here from Moment, they've added a top handle to this cage so they can shoot this skateboard scene with the iPhone nice and close to the ground. And all these threads and mounts are standard, so anything that you buy for this cage, you can take those off and put those on other cages down the road. Or if you have friends that have like top handles that you just want to try out, you can borrow it off them, put it on the cage and go nuts. And yes, if you have Moment lenses and filters on your device, it will still work with this cage as well. And the third reason why I think this is a great first accessory is convenience, and it's a very underrated reason as well. But having everything in one spot ready to go when you are really makes filming easier. So for instance, if you're filming a talking head video like this one, you can set up your microphone, your lights and tripod so everything is just in the right place. And when you feel like filming something, you just pop your phone in the mount, press record and go. The same could be said if you're doing tutorial videos like makeup or cooking videos as well. And because this cage works in both landscape and portrait orientations, you can have an instant social media content setup as well. And another great thing about this setup is that everything is a really compact size. So for instance, you can have your phone, this cage, Moment lenses, a light, and microphone. You can have that whole kit fit in a very small bag, so you can take it with you. And this MagSafe mount here also adds to convenience. It's so easy to mount and remove the phone. So if things happen, like you get a phone call during filming, which will happen inevitably, you can just remove the phone, take the call, pop the phone back in and continue on. It's also very easy to review footage if you're outside, for instance. So in direct sunlight, you can go to somewhere where there's a bit more shade and watch your footage back. And the third thing is micro adjustments are really easy in this cage. So because it's magnets, if your phone's just slightly tilted, it's very easy just to get it in place. And this MagSafe mount is removable as well. So down the road, if you get a phone that doesn't have MagSafe, for instance, then you can replace it with a traditional phone clamp and keep the rest of your setup as it is. And there you have it. The Moment Mobile Filmmaker Cage with MagSafe is an ideal first accessory to get when you want to move forward with your mobile filmmaking and content creation. It provides you with a stable grip, several expandability options that grows with you, and the convenience of a compact setup with everything in one place. The Moment Mobile Filmmaker Cage is $149.95 in Australia. Compatible Moment cases are available for the iPhone 12 and 13 and Google Pixel 6 series of phones. For all other devices, there is a stick-on MagSafe mount to make it compatible with this cage. If you want me to make a video about what other filmmaking accessories I would get after this cage, let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below as well. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.